more out of the coaches, but hearing them break down their thoughts, breaking down the schools and how they expect them to finish, there's a lot of emotions, which got me. I was telling the guys beforehand, like, look, they're no smarter than the rest of us. I know us fans get a little fanatical at times, but I'm genuinely trying to get better at taking the fandom out of it when having these conversations. I think it's healthier to do that and to be able to make sure that, look, this is a credible thought. I'm not just saying this from a fan perspective, but getting down to the nitty gritty of the SEC. Look, when past Georgia and LSU has really, in my opinion, catapulted themselves in a healthy tier 2. People are going to put Bama up there. I'm not sold on Bama, and I'll have my reasons. We have a segment later about Bama later on. But after that, you got Tennessee probably you can put in a tier, Ole Miss, then Bama, and that's probably its own little tier. But then after that, it's honestly pretty open. I think it's open for grabs. Tennessee's up there as well, but there is some question marks with Milton coming in as quarterback. There's question marks at Kentucky. There's question marks at Mississippi State with the new coordinator, with new head coach. There's a question marks at Vandy. Now, honestly, Mizzou and Vandy are looking probably the healthiest. They've got Mizzou's got 80% of their team coming back. They've got their quarterback coming back. They just seem like they're in a really good position at a time where the SEC is in a weird flipping motion, trying to find themselves. But look, you got to think that Florida, their talent is there. The roster of the talent is there. The weaklings were wide receiver. I would argue the wide receiver room is much better than it was last year. The offensive line, there's a question mark there. The running back room, in my opinion, is much healthier. You got two of the same guys you had coming back. Cam Carroll and Trayon Webb is much better than having Naquan right back there. So that room's healthier. Tight end room seems to be a little bit fuller. The defense, we may have lost some key players in Jervon Dexter and Ventrell Miller. I think he did a good job of filling those roles with portal players. There is question marks. You never know what you're going to get, but the praise that we've heard are some good things. So, look, when you go and you lose those 5 of the games we lost by 1 point, you got to think that it's not as, when we're trying to predict the score here and you see Gator fans say 8-4 or 9-3 or 7-5. I think to say that we're going to go to win 5.5 is a little bit disrespectful. It could easily go that way. I think South Carolina is going to be a tough win. Arkansas is going to be a tough win, but I think they're counting us out a lot more than what they should be. Obviously, again, that's a little fandom inside of me as well. And Steve, you're going to have your opinion. But Dave, what's your thoughts on it, big guy?
I love being counted out, man. That just makes me feel phenomenal. I love the bulletin board material. Give it to me all day long. Put us last. Put us everywhere. Put us dead last. They were worse than Vanderbilt and everything else because I know we lost to them. Yeah, just say we're going to be beat. But no, I mean, when you look at it, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. First of all, of course, Anthony Richardson's out. That is the key to your team is your quarterback. I think, I've already went on my spiel about Graham Mertz. So I think that's going to be different. So it's going to come down to him. How can he execute? How can he play? Does he get hurt? Who's the backup? Is it going to be Max Brown? Is it going to be Jack Miller if something happens? Does Max Brown execute? Does Jack Miller execute? And then I think it's going to come down to the defense. I mean, as I said, the defense was not the best last year. We got better talent now on the defense. I think we went over the roster a couple weeks ago, and I was feeling pretty strong about the cornerbacks, the defensive line. And I was like, the big question mark is that safety spot with R.J. Moten coming in and some other guys to fill that spot with where Trading and all that was. And we know how awful that spot was for the past 2 or 3 years with him there. I mean, I think that will improve a little bit too. And as I said, if you look and you go back and look at some of the games that we lost by 1 score, or maybe even 10 points, I mean, if you have an average defense, I mean, you probably win like 10 games, if not 11.
Yeah, that's a big point there. If you go look at our defensive ranking last year, it was the best ranking we had in any category was 85th, I believe. I mean, you just give me 20 more spots, and we're that's 2 more games possibly, right? We make a few more stops. We're not 3rd and 11 on it, giving up 19 3rd and 11s a game. There's a big swing there, especially when you lose 5 games by 1 touchdown against teams that were at their peak. Kentucky, last year was their year. Tennessee, lightning in the bottle, okay? We're facing those teams again. The Vandy game was a bad loss. I will continue to beat that drum. That was a pathetic loss. It was horrible. The Florida State game, Jordan Travis single-handedly whooped our ass. The guy was an absolute beast. Can we shut him down this next year? I don't know. But they've got more weapons, so that's going to be a hell of a game. But the advantage that we have is in the swamp. What do we always talk about? What does the home field give you? 3 points?
3 points.
And we lost by 7? So we're halfway there, right? By being at home. So yeah, a lot of big stuff there. I see Harlan here talking shit, kind of questioning me. Look,
Harlan, what's up, baby?
I get it. I saw your super chat there. I appreciate your love and support as always. I think he gave like $5 and was talking shit. He said, "Keep calling out the BS, Holly. Someone's got to break the echo chamber in here. Hold on, let me go real quick before you chime in. Oops, Steve. Look, I hear, I know the FSU fans and non-Florida fans are going to go blah, 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 blah. This is the same drum that you guys beat. You guys are expected to go to the ACC championship as you should have that expectation. But look, I mean, you can't disagree with me that the SEC East especially is probably more open than it was last year for business and an opportunity to, not first place. I think Georgia has that lock. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that we're on the same level as Georgia. But Tennessee, there's a little bit of a reset. Kentucky is a pretty big reset. I did forget they got their running back from Ray Davis from Vanderbilt. So there's a loss. There's a little bit of a cut to Vandy as well. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and they got O'Leary too. So
yeah.
Kentucky.
Yep, and so they have a new offensive coordinator. There is something funny about the offensive coordinator at Kentucky. He was the offensive coordinator in 2021. He left to go to the NFL and was the offensive coordinator of the Rams. The Rams, mind you, were ranked last in offensive production last year while at the Rams. So he came back to Kentucky, but he did obviously was part of that great 2 years ago, great Will Levis year. So I think they're excited to have him back, as they should be. But what's your thoughts on this mayhem, Steve, of the great Florida football team in their 10-2 season?
Look, I think this, believe it or not, like the schedule is brutal. But if you're looking at the SEC as a whole and what they're going through in quarterback transition, that is insane. On thinking that they're still the best team. I know that they're the best team, but they are also still replacing a huge amount of production and start at the quarterback role.
You're calling it right now. South Carolina upsets Georgia week 3.
I can see it.